We've got a bit of time. What makes you think undergraduates don't go in for speciality quiche, Lewis?
Well, it's not on the college menu. Oh, that vomiter. There was real ale in it, too.
Some of your fellows already took a look, Sergeant.
Yeah, well, I'm just doing a recheck. Proper sell, this, isn't it?
Well, he was a real scholar, wasn't he?
What did he do with his earnings?
Gave it all away, I expect.
Who gets all this stuff? The books?
College, I suppose. He had no relations.
I am not at ease with this machinery. Please bear with me. I resort to these methods because it seems wise to make some record of what I intend to say in the union debate. My contribution will be, to all intents and purposes, a warning, a statement I am forced to make in public, even though I deplore the necessity and am uncomfortable in that arena. What I have to say has, I believe, the most grave and far-reaching implications. I do not exaggerate. 3 of the country's leading newspapers have refused to publish communications from me on this topic.
Our visitor has the gift of, well, not tongues exactly, but what would one say? She facilitates. She gives scope. She popularizes, I suppose. But then that's her job.
I wouldn't call the Sunday Review the most popular newspaper in the world.
Oh, you know about these things?
Well, I recognize Sylvie Maxton.
All Sunday newspapers are anathema to me, I'm afraid.
You're not afraid for your reputation, Master.
I'm sorry?
Sylvie Maxton's stock in trade is the expose, I believe.
Our interest in this occasion is in the type, simply. The master of an Oxford college.
Do you have any idea of what Dr. Dear was intending to say at the debate?
No. And he never made notes. His lectures were the same, off the cuff. And brilliant, of course, closely argued. Not that he gave many, he preferred seminars. Small groups.
So how was he persuaded to speak at the union debate? Out of character, surely, the publicity.
He may have wished deliberately to engage a wider audience. The subject was an environmental issue, was it not, close to his heart?
Do you think his statement would have been controversial?
Who knows?
Darling?
You were going to attend the debate yourself, sir. May I ask if you'd have been likely to agree with Dr. Dear's views?
Since I hadn't heard those particular views expressed, how can I say?
You went back for some papers. Were they relevant?
They were simply some reflections on the issues involved. Now, I'm sorry I can't be of more help to you, Chief Inspector. What is it I'm to do for this farce?
They want you among the delphiniums, darling. Now he'll decide to look gruesome and I shan't be able to bear the results.
Beautiful garden, Mrs. Copley-Barnes.
Isn't it indeed? Of course, we're outrageously lucky in the fabulous Phil.
The fabulous Phil?
Phil Hopkirk, our gardener. Well, not ours, of course, the college's. And not theirs for long, because he's been seduced by Q, would you believe? He's staying on to win the College Gardens Cup for Beaufort this year, touch wood. Do you dibble and hoe, Chief Inspector?
I can't somehow see myself raising flowers. A perfect lawn, perhaps, that would be a challenge.
Actually, I like to think we've given something back to Phil. He's a widower. His daughter's musical. Did encourage her. She's gone on ahead to London to an aunt, so her schooling's not interrupted. Oh, what's this now, would you say?
Second post, Mrs. Copley-Barnes.
Thank you, Gray. I'll take it.
What is it, Blanche?
Parcel, Master. Needs signing for.
What kind of parcel?
Matthew, I think it's another one. Don't accept it. Send it back now. Please don't accept it.
Keep calm, Blanche. I must accept it. Oh, thank you, Gray.
This is not the first of these outrages, these insults, Inspector. One knows there are unbalanced people. One hears, but one never really believes.
Is it a police matter?
I don't think there's any cause for alarm.
What is it, Father?
It's all right. There's nothing to worry about.
Oh, yes, it is. I do fear it is. I wish I could say otherwise, but I am afraid we have to prepare ourselves.
Sender's address, 15 Beach Street, Highbury.
False, like the others. The last one, Chief Inspector.
Oh, for heaven's sake, control yourself. It's a hoax. Someone playing tricks, that's all.
No name. Were the others anonymous?
What's going on?
You might well ask, Sylvia. There's no answer. No conceivable explanation we can find. Nothing we could possibly understand.
So, the Master of Beaufort gets hate mail.
Parcels, sir. Nothing dangerous, just distressing.
And you're saying that there is some connection with the attack on Dr. Dear?
I'm saying I'd like to investigate further.
A mugging like that, unpremeditated probably, hit or miss stuff. What are the chances, Morse, of nailing someone?
Not high, sir, in the ordinary course of things, I agree.
You see, what I want to avoid is you turning over a lot of stones just to see what's underneath.
Sir?
We all know your methods, Morse, and I'll grant you they've been effective sometimes. The Master of Beaufort, Copley Barnes, is on a police force policy committee. Did you know that?
Yes, I did know that, sir. And he reminded me.
Where's your evidence for this connection?
I'm about to compile it, sir.
You ever been to Austria?
Only to Salzburg, sir. For the festival.
Oh. What kind of festival's that?
So there's nothing really for us to get excited about, is there not? You better give us the gory details anyway. Yeah? Yeah. Right, good. Well, I'm pretty sure we'll be on it for a bit, yeah? Not that long, actually. No, it could be just 3 days. OK, thanks. Ta-da. Sheep's blood on the skull. Well, lamb's blood, as a matter of fact. Squeezed from the Sunday joint, maybe. Well, at least Rennie gave us a bit of leeway.
Only till the ranks close, Lewis.
Yes, terrible. Terrible. Horrendous. Awful. Terrible.
2 parcels, you said, before this one.
Yes. 2 D-sharp, Lawrence, if you please. They came through the post from London sorting offices.
Different offices. This first one was registered in Holborn.
They came from Islington, I believe, and Camden. Matthew would remember. I'm so sorry you missed him. He had to go out. The snake skin came from Camden.
Snake skin?
The dried skin of an adder. Shriveled. I went quite dippy for a moment when I saw it. Matthew was remarkably steady. Though even he... I mean, the second one... Well, the smell was around for days. The sitting room... I had to see my pupils in their own homes, which is never satisfactory because the instrument's always inferior.
The smell, Mrs. Copley Barnes.
Fish. Stinking fish. A plastic pail, would you believe? Packed with shellfish, seaweed, the sort of things you'd scoop out of a rock pool. Very carefully sealed, and then... when it was opened...
We're dealing with a fanatic here. Someone with an axe to grind.
Oh, no. No, Matthew said it was almost certainly a disaffected student. A failure, perhaps. Even a failed first. They're the most bitter of all, as a rule.
Your pupil's doing very well.
Oh, you're musical, Chief Inspector, rather than horticultural?
I listen. I know your reputation as a teacher.
Really? You think it's fearfully exclusive? I am very choosy, I suppose, but then I don't care to waste my time on anything less than real potential.
I bought my nippers one of them electronic keyboards.
Parcels of what? Natural products. Why?
My husband thinks they might relate to specific examination questions.
They could as easily relate to the motion of the Union the other night.
Well, you don't imagine that they might have something to do with what happened to Julian?
It's a possible line of inquiry. You'll keep us informed.
Of course.
Oh, your son-in-law, Mr. Garrett?
Ronald? What about him?
He seemed concerned yesterday to play down the significance of these things.
For my daughter's benefit, I expect. That's his way. Protective. She's very highly strung.
Have they been married long?
Oh, it's 4 or 5 years. He's very much Imogen's choice. By that, I mean that we, Matthew and I,
Thank you.
we...
I'll be in touch.
Morning.
Where's Imogen?
Inside.
Did she say he was coming? I'm going to pretend to interview her. We'll talk about old times instead.
She doesn't want to see you.
I'm sorry?
She's not well. She says to apologise.
Was it the parcel yesterday? What did you make of it?
Someone's got a grudge against him, I suppose. Not surprising. He offends a lot of people.
Give her these, will you? They're from the garden.
Courtesy of the fabulous Phil.
And carried hither by the commendable Sylvia.
Was that their name for you?
Who is Sylvia? What is she that all our swains commend her?
I'm the reliable Ron, I believe.
And are you reliable? I was never very commendable. Must be hard work here.
We like it.
Couldn't take a horse out, could I?
Do you ride?
I learned with Imogen when we were 10. You could come with me. Fill me in on a few things.
Go on.
Master's Lord. Hello? Who is this? Imogen, is that you? Is it you, darling? Imogen? Please, darling, don't do this again.
I used to come here for picnics once. Always taken up by the Copley Barneses. Before my father died.
But they didn't have picnics, did they?
No. They had expeditions to centres of cultural interest. Does Imogen talk about the old times?
Not much.
What happened to her?
What do you mean, what happened?
Well, she's different. She used to be... oh, different. Energetic, funny. I couldn't keep up. I went to London. She stayed on in Oxford. She didn't get her degree, did she?
No. She had a breakdown, as I'm sure you know from your research.
How did her parents react to that?
Overjoyed. Look, I can't spare the time for this. Walk on.
I'm sorry, but she was important to me growing up. They widened my horizons. The whole family did. It matters if she's not happy.
You happy?
Well, I haven't broken down. I don't react to shock the way she does.
Got me to look after her now.
Well, she's lucky.
I'm lucky. As the parents never tire of pointing out. Never wanted to give marriage a go?
I couldn't stay the course.
Kids?
I'm fine as I am.
We want kids. Someday. This all going in your piece?
What do you think I am?
I don't know. I only know the kind of thing you write. Walk on. Where you going?
Just want to wash my hands.
There's a sink in the tack room. She doesn't want to see you.
I just want to say goodbye.
Why can't you leave her alone?
She was my friend, for God's sake. You don't know how...
If I'd known in time, we might have come together.
Have you come to see Imogen?
There's been a small emergency. She telephoned. All's well now. I should confer briefly with my son-in-law, since you're back.
I want to see her.
That's impossible, I'm afraid. I think we should both be on our way. Now, if you lift.
I have a hired car. Thank you. Tell Blanche I won't be home for dinner.
Was she famous then, Mrs. Seaby?
Yeah, she was quite a performer in her day. Not world class, but decent third program. Never made it to the top. Maybe she lacked concentration.
She doesn't seem all there somehow.
The master's absent-minded wife. Takes years to cultivate that, Louis. An essential requirement for the job.
Do you think they could be connected, these parcels, with the attack on Dr. D?
Why not? What have we got, Louis? A scientific philosopher, Dr. Julian Deere, virtual recluse, keen on environmental issues, anxious to speak in a university debate.
Strain on the nerves, that, with his heart trouble.
Right, so doing it must matter to him, but no notes, no record of what he was going to say. And then we have a distinguished chemist, the master, Copley Barnes, who's being pestered by a postal faddist who's trying to tell him something about death and decay. Two sorts of attack.
On the same theme, like. Think Rennie will go for that?
Shouldn't think so.
Maybe put it on tape.
What?
If he wanted to make a record of what he was going to say, he might have spoken it onto a tape. There was a recorder in his rooms.
All his tapes were missing.
Yeah. So maybe someone knows what he was going to say.
You've just earned yourself a drink, Louis.
Oh, it's lentil soup in the canteen today.
It's too warm for lentil soup.
Thanks. Mum? That's better.
Still on the trail, eh, Mort? Or have you come to sign up with the Renaissance group after all?
Still on the